Joey C.
Alex.
Shit, I'm trying to go. I was about to start. I made sure I was rolling. God damn.
All right, go.
I can't fucking glance at the camera. All right, ready? Joe.
Alex, how are ya?
What's going on, buddy? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good to see you, buddy.
Great to see you. I haven't seen you since last year. Oh.
Well, so here's the thing. I gotta kind of put you on blast here on the podcast because I threw a New Year's party and you were invited and yet didn't show up.
It's
so
true.
I think we gotta address this.
It's true. I did not show up. Actually, hang on a second. I got a bone to pick with you. You fucking texted me and said, do not come. And I was like, good. I wasn't planning on it.
You remember that clip from Ellen where she was confronted, like, oh, you didn't invite me to your birthday party. She's like, no, I did. And then Ellen got canceled after that. I feel like that's what's happening to me right now. No, Joe, you were within an inch of your life there for that weekend, buddy. You were, from what I understand, I mean, it was touch and go there.
I will say, like, no joke, that was the sickest I have ever been in my fucking life. Like, everyone's like, dude, I was on death's door. Dude, I was literally on the phone with my fucking mom crying. Like, please fucking send help. And I can't go to the ER or the doctors because all the fucking hospitals were filled to the brim. They were turning people away. And I'm sitting there begging for my life for Pedialyte. It was bad, bro. It was fucking bad.
You had that norovirus, whatever it is.
Yep.
Dude, so brutal. It's bad, dude. Them shutting down the hospitals is fucking crazy.
The crazy thing is like everyone's like, it's the most intense 24 hours of your life. And that's no joke. Dude, I was dead. I was literally dead for like 8 hours. But after the 8-hour mark, it was the weirdest fucking thing. Like, I was pretty much back to normal. The only thing I will say though is it took probably 3 or 4 days, maybe even up to a week to get my eating back to normal.
Damn.
Like, normally I have a pretty healthy belly. You know what I'm saying? It sticks out pretty far, right? But that shit was fucking flat. I was scared. I literally thought I looked like I'm not going to say that on the internet. But if I was to say it, I would say I felt like a fucking cancer patient. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to say that on the internet.
I feel like for something to knock you off of any sort of eating rhythm, it must have fucked you up, dude. Like the fact that you went however many hours without like a chicken sandwich.
Bro, I went 2 days without eating anything. And then the third day I ate like half a bowl of chicken noodle soup. And then I couldn't eat until the next day after that.
That's so brutal.
And the crazy thing is even 5-6 days after I was done being sick, I couldn't eat much. Like, I would eat like a couple of bites of a sandwich and I would be completely full. It was the wildest fucking thing ever, dude.
Dude, being stomach sick is the fucking worst. I would rather be like, give me any other kind of sick for a month over being stomach sick for like an hour. I fucking hate, it's the worst.
Honestly, though, like, I hate throwing up like everybody else does. But like, throwing up isn't bad when you actually have shit in your stomach.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? You have like shit meaning?
No, like when you have like food in your stomach and you're throwing up food. When you've thrown up for like the 15th time and it's 5 a.m. and you have nothing else in your body, and like it's
just air.
Dude, horrible. Fucking I would not wish that on my fucking worst enemy. No joke. It was that bad.
To be fair, I was like, oh man, Joe's sick. That sucks. But like, I'm trying to do the math. I was like, yeah, but he wasn't. And then I like looked up, I like read about the norovirus and it was like, yeah, you can still be contagious for like a week after the fact. And I had to text you and be like, hey buddy.
And we were supposed to film on that Sunday. And I got sick Thursday and like, I was in denial up until I threw up. I was like, there's no way I'm sick. There's no fucking way I'm sick. And then I finally threw up like I was being exercised in by a fucking demon. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'm fucking sick. There's no way we're filming on Sunday.
Dude, I had like a tingle of like, you know, like you ever have a day where like your stomach, you're not sick, but it just kind of feels like a little off, like a little uneasy.
Yeah.
Like I had like a twinge of that on one of the days I was home. I was like, that's it. I'm about to die. Like I gotta start writing my will before I'm too weak to hold a pen. And I didn't get sick. And I mean, shit, man. Like, knock on wood that I don't get this fucking virus, man. But
So my family had it like 2 weeks before I had it. So I thought I was in the fucking clear. And then, like, surely enough, 2 weeks later, I got sick. The crazy thing is like I was so sick that I didn't even want to watch like my TV show that I watch. Like, I was so fucking sick. I just needed to throw anything that I couldn't enjoy on the TV.
well, I mean, typically you like to watch, I don't know, like the Throw Up Sisters, where it's like the Kardashians, but they're puking all the time. So you kind of had to give yourself a mental break. I remember I had the stomach bug when I was in like middle school, and I came home from school. I was sick as fuck. I was like living on the couch, and my dad, like, we're all hanging out in the living room, and my dad pulls up this weird show he was watching at the time. I forget what it was called, but it was like these 3 British guys, and they would like go around the world and like do stuff. And one of them, they were in Egypt, and they were eating like weirdo Egyptian food. And one of the things that they were eating were camel testicles, if I remember correctly.
What the fuck?
And I remember like I'm sick as fuck. Like I'm in between throwing like puking fits. And my dad's on the TV watching guys eat like camel nuts, and they're like it was foul. And I remember turning to my dad. I was like, "Can you please turn this off?" And he got mad at me for asking him to turn it off the TV. And I'm like, "This is the most disgusting thing if I were healthy right now." I'm already like, you know, the trigger's half pulled at this point. It wasn't fun.
I just knew that anything I watched, I would not enjoy for the rest of my life because I'm sick.
I remember the last time I was sick with a stomach bug. It was our first year out here in Chicago, and Caitlin brought it home from school. She was sick as fuck for like 2 days. And then a few days went by and I hadn't gotten sick. I was like, well, I must be in the clear. And I made a breakfast burrito when I got up in the morning. And about halfway through my burrito, I was like, today's the day. Like I just knew I could feel it coming. I remember laying on the couch trying to watch football. It was the playoffs. And I remember it was the Bengals and the Ravens. And I remember trying to watch football and just being like, this is bad. I don't like this. Like it just kind of like fucked the whole vibe up. Cause I did the thing where I knew I was gonna puke for like 7 hours
Yeah.
before I puked.
Yeah. And you
And
can't
so
you
I was just
fight
kind of
it.
like,
You try to fucking fight it.
so I'm like trying to like watch football, and it's just like,
There was a point where I was laying in bed and I got in bed and like I was like in denial. I was like, there's no way I'm sick. I must have just ate like uncooked bacon or something. Like, no fucking big deal.
no big deal. Raw pork is like the most
Oh,
dangerous
bro, you
thing
just
there
puke that
is.
shit up and move on, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
Up until I threw up. Like, there was a moment where I was just releasing all my organs into the toilet for the first time. After I got done, I thought, I think I'm sick, man.
After you were done.
But I fought it for like 4 hours. And once I threw up the first time, I felt like $1,000,000. I was like, all right, got that out of my system. Let's rock and roll. And then like literally 15 minutes later, I was doing it all over again. And I was like, oh no, this is the start of it.
Right. I can't handle any more.
Neither
puke
can I.
talk, man.
Neither can I.
We gotta move on.
We do have to move on.
Let's talk about diarrhea.
We should probably
instead.
cut some of that, actually.
No, it's fine. I love to imagine somebody with like a really weak gag reflex. They're like driving on their way to work, listening to the show.
Ew!
I don't know if there could be a worse time to throw up than if you're like driving on the highway.
Not to talk about sickness again, but when I was driving home from Philly a couple of weeks ago, while my family was sick, I was like, please don't get sick. Please don't get sick. Because I'd be still on the highway now.
Trying to do 70 in like a snowstorm and you're just puking all in your lap. I would just turn the car. I would just whip the car into a fucking light pole. I'd be like, you know what? Let's just get ahead of this.
Driving through the Poconos in a goddamn blizzard, like, while throwing up, I would have killed myself.
The last time I was in Philly, the only time I was ever in Philly, I took some friends of mine and we went down to a 76ers game. And on the way home, it was like midnight and we got hit with this like snowstorm. It was fucking bad, dude. And I remember like just limp. I was like half in the emergency lane doing like 20 on the highway, just like trying to limp it home half safely.
Limp it home.
And I
It's
got
so
home,
bad.
like went to bed, woke up in the morning. A few hours after I had gotten off the road, there was like a mile long pileup on that highway because a fucking semi spun out and like blocked the highway. So it became like a 10-car pileup that turned into like a mile long backup. I missed it by like 2 hours.
I could totally see that happening because when I was driving home, dude, no joke, I couldn't see 10 feet in front of me.
Dude, that's a weird stretch of highway there, man. Cause you're in the sticks. Like once you're out of Philly, you're in like the rough, dark, shitty woods part of Pennsylvania.
There's literally no restrooms until like no like rest areas for like a good 150 miles. And the crazy thing is like as I was driving home, every fucking like every mile there was another car in the ditch. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. And guess what? I survived the Pocono blizzard of 2024, and I survived the norovirus of 2024, 2025, baby.
Dude, good for you, man. Coming into the new year with a new lease on life. Good for you, man. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? Are you a resolutions guy?
I am a big resolutions guy. Is that
Hmm.
your question for the episode?
No, I'm just curious.
Oh, so you're just trying to squeeze me for another answer. I see how it is.
I'm not allowed to ask. Fine, no more small talk. Fuck the foreplay. Let's just get into
Well,
it.
hang on. I have a list over there. I could read it to you.
No more foreplay, man. Open up.
I can't. That's disgusting. That is fucking disgusting.
That was after 10 minutes of puke talk. That was the comment that did it.
Yeah, don't fucking don't make me think about spreading my holes for you. Come on now.
Whoa. I only need one. All right.
To answer your
I
question,
apologize for that one. I'm gonna get ahead of that one before I get fucking. I'm gonna get canceled after this episode. The
you
Ellen
are.
thing. I'm sexually harassing my host. Enough.
Yeah, your
bad,
co-host.
buddy.
Yeah,
Sorry, dude.
your queer co-host as a straight man. Come on now.
What is this? Fox Sports?
I think my
by the time this episode comes out, it's gonna be such a dated reference. But fucking
that is
whatever.
it already is.
Ah well.
To answer your question, amongst all the things on my list, because as you know, I'm a big goal person. It is to do a new film this year. That's really my my big thing. That's my big one. So what's your big one?
I don't really have one. I don't really do resolutions.
No,
I'm trying to
that's
like
fair.
just be like, I guess I'm just trying to be healthier, right? Go to the gym more, eat better. But like, I'm not much of a New Year's guy. I almost try to use the New Year as just like a good like starting point. You know what I mean? But it's never like, oh, this year I'm gonna. It's just like to me, like the New Year is just like that's Monday. I'll start on Monday. It's like
It's
that
just
kind of
it's
deal.
just a new day. Yeah,
Yeah. Like I don't get into that stuff too much.
I'm such a big goal like I do my yearly goals, my monthly goals, my weekly goals, and my daily goals, and I've done that my whole fucking life. It's just I'm insane. That's just what I do. Every day I fucking post all my like what I do on a daily basis on my calendar, you know.
It's like a really
So
good
it's
way to
just
structure things.
just how my brain works.
Well, I've like never really done that, and part of it is because I don't like the feeling of failure. So I don't try to set goals and then end up not reaching them, and then I just gotta sit in that.
Yeah,
Like,
mine's the complete opposite. I like the like I'm fucking out of my mind crazy. So like I love putting like 20 things on my to-do list that day and fucking crossing off every single one of them and being like, yeah, bitch.
that is a great feeling. But I feel like for me, like once I get like zeroed in on an idea, I start feeling that way. But, like, if I start trying to do, like, daily affirmations or shit, I'm just gonna by, like, the 4th day of it, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, didn't do any of those," and then that just sucks. I don't like that feeling.
I couldn't be more different. That's all I'm saying.
Were you a good student? It feels like that would have
No.
been, that didn't translate over to, like, being good in school.
No, I hated school. And like the cliche thing is like, well, I got terrible grades. I was a bad student and now I'm a success. Like I fucking hate that shit. But I really was I was very polite. I was never rude to my teachers. In fact, I hated when kids were rude to their teachers. I thought that was so distasteful. So I was very polite, but I was not very academic. And the only reason I passed is because I'm a very good test taker. I perform very well under like the testing pressure. But I never did homework. I literally did like just enough to pass to keep like from being held back. But I and I always did that goal thing. Like, for instance, I found one of my calendars from like 2009, literally the same fucking thing that I do today. So I haven't changed much, but it did not fucking switch over to schoolwork. I don't know why.
See, I was the same way. I screwed around too much. Um, and, like, my personality, if I find something kinda, like, boring, I easily detach from it. It's hard for me to, like, stay focused on something that I don't find interesting, and so I always did really well in the classes that I found interesting because I was able to, like, sit down and focus, but, like, I would take, like, fucking algebra, and I was just screwing around in the back because I couldn't give less of a fuck, and, I was the same way in that sense of, like, I wrote my papers, I took my tests, and I did enough, but I didn't do homework, I didn't do extra credit, I didn't do enough to give myself good grades, I did enough to get, like, C's and B's, and I kinda look back at it and, like, regret that because I coasted and still got decent grades, and there's part of me that wishes I just kinda, like, applied myself and maybe, maybe I'd be in a different spot in life if I had actually,
In high school, I didn't. There was the only class that ever interested me was public speaking. This is the only fucking thing I've ever been good at. But in college, I took a bunch of classes that were fucking that I loved, like college writing. I loved college. College writing was awesome. I actually fun. I don't know if you know this, but I'm really into science, and I took an applied science, uh, or it was an applied chemistry course that was literally just there to fill like an elective or something. And that was actually one of the funnest classes ever because it was like going like really basic shit, like going over the basics of like the periodic table of elements and like, different mixtures or whatever, and like how to make like fucking gunpowder and shit like that. Like, I don't know. It was sick. I thought it was fucking cool. But actually, I didn't do that well in the class, but I fucking tried my hardest to pass it. And like that 70 was like a true 70. Like that was like me fucking trying. And on the other end of the spectrum, I had to take financial accounting to get my degree. I failed it 3 times and on the 4th time I finally fucking passed it. To this day, that's like the most proud I ever was. Like, I don't know. I'm super fucking proud of that because like I tried like hell to pass that fucking class.
See, that's kinda what I mean about, like, wishing I applied myself because I really enjoyed college as well, and, like, the feeling of succeeding in a class is a very nice feeling, and, like, I kinda wish I just did that more. But, like,
So you got a bachelor's degree, right?
yeah, yeah. I did 2 years of community college and then finished my degree at a 4-year school.
So that's what I wish I did. But I went to it took me 4 years to get an associate's. It's a long story.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh
Uh,
at that.
no, but hey, man, there's no dates on degrees.
No, not at
But
all.
I really, really wish I got my bachelor's. Not for like any corporate, like, oh, I can get a better job that way, but like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just wish I did it. I don't know why. I just wish I did.
When I got my 2-year degree, I remember, like, I knew I was going to like, the plan all along was just community and then move on, but I got that degree and was, like, talking to my friends and stuff, and I was like nobody wanted to walk for that graduation. And I remember being like very proud of the fact that I was going to walk and go get my college degree, even though it was an associate's. And I remember everybody being like, "Nah, it's fucking stupid. I don't want to." And I just like I didn't understand that feeling. You know what I mean? Like even high school, for as much as I fucked around and didn't really care about high school, I was really proud of the fact that I got to walk and go get my degree. And like even I had high school friends that didn't show up and stuff. They're like, "Yeah, I don't fucking care." And it's like, I guess I understand that, but I don't know. It was a really like rewarding feeling to be able to go do that for myself.
I did enjoy and I did walk in my associate's degree, but it was the thing is because like both my parents didn't go to college.
Mhm,
None of their parents went to college. My older sister got her master's degree, and she was the first one in the family to get a college degree.
mhm.
And she got her fucking master's like a show off. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna get a degree too. It might be an associate's, but I'm getting that fucking degree.
Phoenix University online.
Or some Christian university bullshit.
One of those like online certificates. All you got to do is like punch your name in and like.
Yeah, exactly. Alex, I'm realizing something. We're 22 minutes into this episode and we haven't even gotten to the fucking questions. We should probably hurry this fucking thing up.
Well, we don't gotta hurry anything up. What do you got? You got places to be? You got something to do after this?
You said that you had plans after this.
I do have plans after this.
Wait, well, hang on. What the fuck are your plans?
I don't want to say. No, the people
Okay,
don't. The
that's
people
fair.
don't get to know. I
That's
want to
fair.
be mysterious and cool on the internet. I want people to wonder about me.
That's
I can't be
impossible.
too much of an open book because then people don't care.
That's funny because a girl said that to me one time. Uh, it was actually an ex. She said to me, "I wish you were more mysterious online." And I was like, "That's the most insulting thing anyone could ever fucking say to me." And I feel like I don't even post. Like I don't post that much. Like the only thing I post a lot is like either Twitter, and I really don't post anything of substance, and like my YouTube channel. Everything else, like it's just me posting my videos.
No, you're not too personal or anything on the internet. You're a character. You do your thing, but like
I'm a character.
you play it up for the camera. You play it up for the internet. So do I, right? But like, I don't think you're too personal. You don't get on there and like, you're mysterious enough. People are curious about official Joey C.
You know what's fucking crazy is like you saying like, oh, I play it up for the camera, and I swear to God, there was a moment this morning when I was in my kitchen and I was waiting for my macaroni to heat up on the stove, and I was literally like dancing around like this, right? Fuck!
Nice.
Hit my table.
Way to
And I
fucking
was like
go.
dancing around like that, and I was like doing whatever the fuck I was doing, and I literally thought like, dude, the camera's not even rolling. What the fuck are you acting like that for? That's exactly how you fucking act on camera. And it was just like a weird moment for me.
When I was a kid, we used to watch Malcolm in the Middle, and I thought it was cool how he would do those like fourth wall breaks and talk to the camera and nobody else could notice it. So I started doing that like in my life because I thought it was funny. So like something funny or weird or whatever would happen, and I would just like turn and look at a camera that wasn't there, and then go. And one time I was at the dinner table and I did it, and my parents both were like, "What are you doing? What are you looking at?" And they called me on it, and I never did it again.
They were probably concerned.
Well, because I was like sitting there and like something happened or somebody said something, and I turned, and I just like, and then like, and they were like, "What are you doing? What the fuck? What is this?" So I haven't done that since, but oh well, what are you gonna do?
I need you to next time you guys have like a family dinner together, I need you to just randomly do that one time.
And just turn and look
Just
at
bring it
nothing.
back.
Oh boy, Joe, let's fucking get to the questions. Is it my turn to start or is it your turn to start? I don't remember.
You know, I think it's my turn, but I think it's your turn. So why don't you go first?
Are you giving it to me because you're still unprepared? Do you not have a question?
I have a question. I'll ask you the question. You want my question?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call your bluff right now. I'm pulling back the curtain on the show.
All right. Here's my question. Okay. If you had to choose between being able to talk,
Have you ever had a dream
animals.
where you if you and have you
Okay,
ever
no. I was lagging. If you had to choose between being able to talk to animals, but you could only talk to the animals about your love life, or getting text messages from your future self about your most embarrassing moments, which haven't happened yet, which one would you pick? I can repeat that if you need me to.
I feel like I just got hit by a bus. I don't know what just took place.
Okay, let me try again. If you had to choose between talking to animals, but you can only talk to the animals about your love life, or getting text messages from your future self talking about embarrassing moments that haven't happened to you yet, which would you pick?
Do the animals talk back?
Yes, the animals do talk back.
So I feel like it would be a very one-sided relationship to only like the animals are only there to hear me complain or talk about and they don't really get to participate or I don't get to hear about their love lives. I think that would not be the most healthy relationship. I'd rather just talk to like a person therapist if that or like just a friend who could like, respond. The embarrassing moments one is interesting because then you could try to like avoid those moments, but at the same time, now you're kind of like living in fear of those moments and not living just how you would. And I think that would be really stressful and annoying.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because if my future self said, dude, you're going to fucking shit your pants on the Fifth Avenue train on December 4th, and on December 4th, I got a doctor's appointment. So I got to take the train and the doctor's appointment, and I really got to shit. I know that that shit is coming into my pants, and there's no way to avoid it. You just have to fucking, it's like a roller coaster ride. You just have to strap in and be like, yep, I'm shitting my pants in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would be. I guess that'd be just kind of fun, right? Just strap it in and being like, "Yeah, all right, I know I'm shitting my pants on the 14th." You like schedule it in. You put it on your goal calendar. Like, all right, I got to hit the gym. I got to do this. Shit my pants. Circle it. Highlight it. I often think about that kind of like oh, if you could go backwards and like change things that happened in your life, or if you could like speak to your old self or something, and it's like on paper, sure, if you could just scrub different things from your life, but y- without those moments or without those memories and experiences or like the lessons you learn from them, you don't become the person you are now.
That is true. Yeah, that I mean, I hate to get like fucking serious like that, but like literally my most fucking like embarrassing, horrible things I've done in my life have always led to some sort of level of huge personal growth or opened up an opportunity for me or whatever.
They lead you to the person you are now, and I like the person I am now, and so I wouldn't want to go through and like there is a level of like, do you wish you could scrub some like just memories and like it all still happened, but like you just like fucking Men in Black wipe it. I think I would do that.
Yeah, me too. I definitely would.
Right? But, like, that's not the same as actually, like, altering the past.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because like I don't regret the moments with said woman, but I don't want to fucking think about them.
See, I also think regret is, like, a sign of maturity or, like, a sign of, like, intelligence, right? Because if you did bad things and you did not regret them, that's a really bad sign. So, like, I almost think, like, people make mistakes, shit happens. When I was growing up, my dad used to say, "People make mistakes, that's why there's a word for it." And, like, if you make mistakes or you act a certain way or you do things and you don't regret them, that's a really bad sign in terms of like your personal growth and development, right? You should regret things that are regrettable.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was thinking about when me and you were talking about last episode how I almost fought that old man at the bar. I was thinking about that guy last week, and I was like, "Fuck, man! I should not have just gone in there and told him to fuck off. I should have just fucking like did something else other than that."
I think that's the thing though, is like you regret it and now in the future you're not going to do something like that again. Right? You have that like I think guilt is something that drives the way you behave in the future, and that's the point of it, right? I have memories and experiences of things that I like wish I hadn't done, and that's why I haven't done them again in so many years, right? And like you just learn to treat other people better, treat yourself better, respect things, and like you just kind of the guilt and regret is like a part of development and growth and kind of keeps you in check, I think.
Going back to like the New Year's resolution thing, looking back at my past experiences, my one of my other biggest things is like to be a more loving person, um, and being a more honorable man. If that makes sense, like I want I want people to look at me in fucking 50 years from now and be like, that dude had fucking morals, and that dude had fucking unbreakable honor.
I try not to worry about like honor so much. I think for me, it's just like I think similarly where obviously my closest friends and family, I want more and more impactful memories and such, but like people kind of further out of that web of your life, right? Your kind of acquaintances, coworkers, things like that. I want those people just to remember me as like I don't want them to have any negative like, ah, he was kind of a dick. Like I want all of that to just be like, oh yeah, I remember him. He was really nice. And like that, I'm okay if that's all you remember about me. It's just like, oh yeah, I remember Alex. He was a nice guy. And if that's all you have to say about me, then I did something right. You know what I mean? Like I could, he was this, he was that. I don't really care about that. Or it's like, I don't even care if you have like specific memories of me. I just want people to look back and be like, oh yeah, he was all right. And like, I'm good with that, you know?
As long as they don't say, "Oh, he was a dick," we're good.
See, but again, so like I look back, we were joking about high school and stuff. Half the people I went to high school with are gonna look back and be like, yeah, he was a fucking asshole. He was annoying.
Yeah, same.
And you know what? They're absolutely right. And there's a reason I don't act like that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair. I feel like we would not have gotten along in high school.
you know what I honestly think about that? We could have gotten along. I would have thought you didn't play sports, I did. And so there was that level of like, he's not this, and you would have thought I was a dickhead jock, and that would have been the reason we didn't get along much.
Yeah, that's right.
So our mutual friend Preston, him and I became friends in like middle school, high school. And he said before he like actually started talking to me and got to know me, that was just his perception of me. It was like, oh yeah, he's the dickhead football player. And it wasn't until he actually like, and I'm glad he took the time to like speak to me and get to know me. But like, I think there's just that like that kind of high school. I don't want to say hierarchy, but like that kind of the way you kind of section
Those
people off.
social constructs and shit.
Exactly, where it's like, all right, there's the jocks and there's the skaters and then there's the theater kids and then there's the you know other
The
ones,
nerds.
the dorks, the dweebs. But yeah, man, I don't know. What was the question? Something about shit in my pants? I don't know.
You answered it. You'd rather get text messages from your future self about your most embarrassing moments that have yet to come.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Support.
Sure. Here's my question.
I would
for
rather
you.
talk to animals, but that's
Yeah, we got too serious. So you're driving back from Philadelphia and you puke in your lab.
yeah.
Fucking A. All right, Joe. You ready for my question?
I am.
Joe, you're Italian, correct?
I am.
Okay, good. That's my question. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Said macaroni.
Joe, I want to know what you believe are the best and the worst Italian foods.
Ooh. Okay. When I was younger, actually, I don't even think these. I was gonna say when I was younger, I used to fucking hate sausages. Don't even think sausages are Italian.
Not uniquely.
But they're with every Italian, like sausage and peppers.
Yeah,
and
Italian
sausage
sausage is a
and
thing.
whatever.
Yeah.
I used to fucking hate sausages. Now I eat them constantly. So probably the best Italian dish is either like macaroni and pepperoni in the sauce or pasta fagioli, which is pasta fagioli.
Mm.
That is definitely the best. It's like beans and macaroni. The worst, by far, the fucking worst is lasagna. And the second worst is spaghetti and meatballs.
Whoa.
For sure. Yeah.
So can I ask?
I feel strongly about that.
Can I ask why you believe that?
I think the texture of lasagna is fucking disgusting.
Hmm.
It's never been like I'll eat it like if I'm at like a church thing or like if I'm at a funeral or like
If I find one on the street.
any fucking like event like that where they get like catered, it's always like, oh, here's a lasagna, here's Speedies. Nobody's gonna know what
Another
a Speedy is.
lasagna.
Here's like hamburgers and shit. Like,
Here's a third lasagna.
yeah, exactly. I'll eat it. Like it's not horribly like it doesn't taste horrible. Like I'll eat it, but I just think it's just like the most foul fucking like on the hierarchy of Italian food. Lasagna is by far the fucking bottom, and spaghetti and meatballs is down there specifically because it's like so fucking generic. Like there's nothing special about it.
That's kind of where I thought you were coming from for both, was that like it was just like spaghetti and meatballs and lasagna were both staples in my house. So I like them, but there is that element of like, all right, enough already. Like,
Yeah, and it's a little different in Italian families, I will say.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
We never had like just spaghetti and meatballs.
Well, spaghetti and meatballs is like an Americanized idea of Italian food, right?
Yeah, it was like we never really ate that. Like we would have like spaghetti and meatballs as like no joke, like a warm up, like an appetizer before the dinner came out.
Does the rest of your family eat like you?
Yes,
Really?
literally the only person who doesn't is my little sister who's vegetarian. She's the only person that eats normally. My older sister, my dad, and my brother and me all eat the fucking same. Like eat endless fucking pit of food.
Damn.
My mom and my sister are the only ones that like they don't eat meat. They barely eat macaroni. Like if we're having ham, sausages and peppers, fucking side of cannoli, fucking whatever, they will eat a little bowl of like a salad and pasta visual, and that's it.
So back to spaghetti and meatballs. That's like not real Italian food. Is lasagna real Italian food, or is that
I
another
think so.
Americanized?
No, I think they're both. I think they're both Italian food. Like you can go over to Italy and get spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, but it's like I think what we imagine to be spaghetti and meatballs is like an American version of what they think is, right? Like,
Well, from what's been explained to me, is like especially pasta visual, and I think this is the same with spaghetti and meatballs. Is like when the Italian immigrants came over during the Great Depression, these meals had to be adjusted to the economy that they lived in. So like macaroni was so fucking easy to make because it was fucking cheap. You could buy it by the fucking pounds. And all you had to do was like put salt in there and like boil it in water. And like you get a little bit of red sauce. And like meatballs were just little balls of fucking ground beef. So I think that that's where that meal evolved to was like a Great Depression version of Italian meals, I guess, and just adjusted for economic problems. And same thing with pasta visual. It's no different, I feel like, from like fried bologna sandwiches. Like, yeah, you could have like a really high end deli sandwich, but during the Great Depression, they're just frying up slices of bologna and putting it on bread. You know what I'm saying?
that's actually really interesting. Like history is like the Great Depression and how like different foods came to be. I know like casseroles. The whole idea of a casserole comes from it's either Great Depression or
What's a
like
casserole?
what'd you say?
I know this makes me sound like dumb as fuck, but what the fuck is a casserole?
Well, so a casserole dish is like the big heavy pans, and then a casserole is the idea of just like throwing a bunch of shit together in there and baking it off. So like
Okay, okay,
tuna
okay. Yeah,
casserole.
just wanted to make sure.
But like casseroles are either I almost said Italian. Casseroles are almost they're either Great Depression or like World War II time when they were like rationing stuff. So like those kind of like economic effects on food history I find really interesting. The Chicago style hot dog is a Great Depression era thing. They used to be called depression dogs.
That's great.
The idea was trying to make like a more filling and healthy food for cheap. And so they took like the just already cheap hot dog and just threw a bunch of vegetables on top. It's literally all it is.
That sounds good as fuck.
Do you know? Have you ever seen like? Do you know what a Chicago style hot dog is?
No, I have no idea.
All right, dog. sesame seed bun, poppy seed bun, excuse me, poppy seed bun, Vienna beef hot dog exclusively. No Oscar Mayer fucking bullshit. No ballpark Franks. Vienna beef sausage, mustard, no ketchup. If you ask for a ketchup on a hot dog here in the city, you might get assaulted. Uh, mustard. Let's see if I remember all my fucking toppings. Mustard, relish, a pickle spear as well, tomato, onion, sport peppers, which are these little like tiny pickled peppers, and celery salt. That's a Chicago dog. They're fucking great. I love them.
If I ever come out to Chicago, that's the first fucking thing I'm doing.
Absolutely. You would love the fucking food here, dog. You would love the food here. Speaking of like Americanized bastardization of Italian food, have you ever had deep dish?
I refuse. I fucking refuse, Alex.
Really?
I
Really?
refuse, man.
If you
Not
came
a
and visited, you
chance.
wouldn't want to get deep dish?
I mean, I'll get it for sure.
Oh yeah, so I
But
refuse, but
but
only
I live
until
in New York, man. I can't fucking like I'm not gonna get a deep
it's
dish
so
in
good.
fucking New York and be like,
It's
oh,
so fucking good,
that's like
dude.
going to
It's so
Minnesota and being
good.
like, can I have New York style pizza? Like, fuck you. Why do we talk about food every fucking podcast episode?
Because food is so great. Food
Yeah,
is
it
the
is.
best thing there is. Food is
So
just
fucking good.
it's the peak of human
It
existence, I think.
really is.
Like it is
That was
it's
the worst part of being sick was not being able to eat.
no, deep dish is fucking great, dude. But I am still preferential to like a crispy New York slice.
God, it's nothing beats it, man. Nothing fucking beats it.
The last time I was in New York, we went to a concert, and on our way back we hit a pizza place that was like in between MSG and our hotel. And we were all stoked to get a New York pie, and it was showed up and it was fucking burnt. And we were all just like, all right, well, fuck this, I guess. So I'm like itching to go back and get a real New York slice again. But
My favorite is like the red sauce pies where there's like minimal cheese and it's just red sauce on the
yep,
fucking dough. It's so
yep,
fucking good.
those are fucking killer.
Oh my god. I'm so dude, I just ate so hungry.
I love a classic like margarita slice too, like real like classic Italian style pizza.
The best New York style pizza by far is the one loaded with peppers. I did not like that as a kid because all my like aunts and uncles used to cook that type of pizza. Now as an adult, I fucking can't get enough of it.
Can I tell you what Italian food I think is the worst?
Yeah, I'm scared as a non-Italian.
And I think this is another, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is another like Americanized, not really Italian food thing. I don't really dig Alfredo. Like, it's fine, it tastes all right, but
I get down with that.
Alfredo sauce to me is like it's fucking cement, dude. It's so thick, it's so heavy. Like 2 bites of fettuccine Alfredo is like it's a fucking tornado in your gut, man. It's intense.
I do agree. I'm not a big fan of thick sauce. I always water my sauce down anyhow. Alfredo sauce, I'm so partial to red sauce that like
Same.
Alfredo sauce just I agree. Like I'll eat it and it doesn't like it doesn't taste that bad, but like I completely agree. That is like definitely super bottom of the fucking list.
You know what I just had for the first time recently that is fucking incredible? Is, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, but panettone.
Okay. You I think it was last episode that you said you had that for the first
Did I
time.
talk about this? I thought
Yeah,
we talked
you
about this
did.
off camera.
Oh,
Maybe
it
this
might
is a
have been off
repeat.
camera. I don't know.
But fucking panettone, man. The like for those that don't know, it's like Italian Christmas cake. It's kind of like fruit cake. It's fucking incredible. It's so good.
It's like on the same like playing field as like Tadals. Like
What is
oh,
that?
Tadals is like a sugar cookie with like icing and sprinkles on it. It is so fucking delicious, dude. It looks pretty generic, but it tastes so good.
I used to not like cannoli, and now I really fucking love cannoli.
It's one of those. It's like beer to me. Like I hated it when I was younger. Like as I get older, the more and more I like it. I don't know. Your taste buds get matured.
Caitlin's a teacher, and every year they have this like fundraising little banquet thing for the staff and like families and stuff. And last year they were serving cannolis at the venue, and I remember like they served dessert right as they started doing the, like, auctioning stuff for the fundraiser. So they served dessert in the back as everybody's getting up and migrating to the front to go do the, like, the auctioning. And I remember I kept taking, like, very casual laps around, like, the perimeter of the banquet. So I'd go and I'd hang out and I'd watch 1 or 2 auctions, and then I'd go get a couple cannolis, and then I'd come back, and then I had a lot of cannoli that night. It was a fucking vibe. It was they were also making this weird little, I don't even remember what it was, but it was this, like, bright blue cocktail. So I was like, I would go get a cocktail and a cannoli and then, like, circle, and it was a vibe. It was fun.
Oh man, your life experiences is fantastic. Cannolis and cocktails.
Cannolis and cocktails. Can that be the name of the show? Can we change
Yeah.
our podcast to you and I every episode we just get drunk and eat cannoli?
That sounds
There's not
amazing.
even a show. It's just like weird ASMR of us sipping and drinking and eating and
Just getting sloppy drunk,
dude.
dripping cannoli off of our fucking shins.
All right, we should get some cannoli and have it together on the next episode.
We should. That's a great idea.
Do you like pistachio? Do you do the pistachio ones?
No, I do. I partake in them, occasionally, but it's not my like my main choice.
I don't really dig pistachio at all, so I don't go for a pistachio one. I like just a plain one or a chocolate chip one.
I do like the chocolate chip ones, but I will always go with the plain ones. And speaking of like pistachios, like my grandfather when I was a kid always used to like eat fucking like pistachios. And I always thought that was the fucking weirdest thing because he'd always have this like tin of fucking pistachios. And like as a kid, I was like, these are fucking disgusting. I swear to God, last time I was at the grocery store, I bought a big fucking container of them. I ate them all in like a day. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm becoming like my fucking Italian grandfather.
Goddamn. Comes around full circle in the
Yeah, it
Crisatello
does.
family, huh?
I'm an old man now, dude.
Goddamn. Joe, I appreciate the time as always.
Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye.